Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Gum Gurubhyo Namaha. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirviginam Guru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Bhagalamukhye Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Mahayogi Asanastvaya here on the Way of Dharma 108. I don't think I've spoken about the planet Mercury before, so this video will be about the planet Mercury. If you are a new viewer, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you hit the like button so that we can spread the word from the Way of Dharma 108. The Way of Dharma 108 is a channel where we discuss spiritual topics ranging from many esoteric systems. For example, the Oriental systems of magical practice known as Sanatana Dharma or Dharma in general. We also speak about some of the esoteric practices from the Western Hemisphere, which include the Hermetic philosophy, includes the Kabbalah, here and there, includes the practices of Satanism and Luciferianism, also known as the left-hand path. Om Namah Shivaya. So our topic for today, we will talk about the planet Mercury. What inspired this video is the fact that I have been doing a series for quite a while now, which involves speaking about the different types of planets in Hinduism, basically. So in Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma, there are said to be 9 planets. However, the wording or the way in which they are called are grahas. Grahas are said to be either benefactors or those that come as debtors in either the present or the past life. So as a benefactor, they would act as those that benefit you in this lifetime. As a debtor would be those, they would act as those that come to collect debt in this lifetime. So the word graha actually means to grab or to grapple, which means to grapple one's attention or to grab one's attention as to what? As to making sure that you do the right thing to either pay your debts or to increase the positivity in your life. So these are said to be 9 in Sanatana Dharma practice. These 9 grahas include the sun, include the moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu. So in this video, we will talk about the planet Mercury. Mercury has so much mystery surrounding him. And Mercury is known to be a very, very powerful aspect in one's magical journey. Mercury is said to rule over communication, is said to rule over intelligence, is said to rule over sales and business, and also entrepreneurship. Mercury in some cultures and spiritual systems is said to be the what? The messenger of the gods. Mercury, having its size almost smaller or equivalent in size to our dear Mother Earth. Mercury is said to be flexible and sociable, meaning they have to get along with each and every one to actually do what? To pass a message. However, Mercury is said to be the enemy of the moon and also the enemy of Mars in some instances. Yes, let me just save quickly and then we will continue. So, Mercury, being a messenger, also is a detective. Mercury is said to be a trickster and is also known in various spiritual systems by different names. In the system of voodoo, or rather, in the system of Yoruba, okay, let's say Voodoo from Haiti, there is said to be a god named Ishu. Ishu is said to be a trickster god and is also said to be the what? The opener of the way. Ishu in some Yoruba spiritual traditions is said to be Elegua. And then in Haiti, Ishu is also an aspect. Sorry, not to say that Ishu is Elegua. Ishu is an aspect of Elegua. And also, Ishu is an aspect of Papa Legba. Papa Legba is the one from Haiti. I'm not saying it's the same thing. Just like there is also different aspects of Ezuli and Oshun. Ishu, Legba, and Papa Legba are different aspects of the same energy. They are not one energy. So don't come here to argue with me and to try to spiritually attack me because I got those things wrong. Anyway, when you move to Egypt, we find a god named Thoth. Thoth is the god of knowledge and god of intelligence. Thoth is of a mercurial nature. And then we move back to where? We move back to the Greek philosophy and Greek spirituality. We find a god by the name Hermes, and this is Mercury. So, the 9 grahas, the 9 planets in Sanatana Dharma, they can either benefit you or come as debtors. So, if you have a positive Mercury in your astrological chart, this is an indication of a sadhana in a past life, or rather an indication of a yearning to know more, an indication of a previous practice in spirituality. Mercury, when Sri Rajarshi Nandi speaks, says he's also god of black magic. Mercury is very, very skillful in that. Mercury often plays and acts a fool. You better know that. Mercury is a joker, and Mercury is also a trickster god. Never underestimate Mercury. Mercury is princely of nature, meaning has a nature of a young, a youth, basically. So a 16-year-old would be likened to Mercury, or rather a teenager. Mercury, in some cultures, is actually said to be Jesus Christ, the messenger. Anyway, let us talk about the other aspects of Mercury. In Sanatana Dharma, Mercury rules over the color green. Mercury rules over the day Wednesday. Mercury rules over the number 5. Mercury number 5. On Wednesday, on Mercury hour, wearing green clothes is when you would do sadhana for Mercury. So now, before we get carried away, let me tell you something about mantras. Mantras to any devata or deva. Mantras, they don't work. They require you to put in the work. You understand? Mantras, if they were working, you would just have to pray to them. But no, this is not the case. You have to do what? To put in the work. You have to chant a certain number of chants to activate and accustom yourself to the energy of the mantra. If you cannot do that, the mantra will not work, because the mantra, that's what it does. It doesn't work. So anyway, let us talk about the mantra for Mercury. Simple mantra for Mercury. Om Boom Buddhaya Namaha. Mercury in Sanatana Dharma is known as Buddha. Buddha, as you know, is an aspect of what? Or rather, Shri Krishna is an aspect of Buddha. You understand? And also, Krishna, when they speak in other esoteric texts, they say Krishna to be a Christ consciousness. So Krishna and Christ, I would like to say they are synonymous. So this is where you see that Buddha, Krishna, and Mercury, they are same, different. I mean, they are aspects of the same energy. Sorry about that. Sorry to scratch myself. My armpits are itchy. Cannot say that is the deodorant. No, I have plenty of deodorant. Anyway, let us speak. Another mantra for Buddha is Om Brahm Brim Brom Saha Buddhaya Namaha, or Om Brahm Brim Brom Saha Buddhaya Swaha, or Om Brahm Brim Brum Sam Buddhaya Swaha. Anyway, there's also Gayatri mantras for each and every planet in Hinduism. So let me give you a tip on working with these energies in Hinduism, and also in working with energies of the planets, planetary magic in general. You first want to do what? It's like working with any other spirit. You first want to accustom yourself to that energy, do rituals to that energy without asking for anything first. You know why? You are building a friendship. Well, they like to say you are building a friendship, but I would like to say you are activating that power, that planet inside of you. For what? For use in the future. So if we activate the energy, take it this way. We all have psychic powers. We all have magical powers. They are just hidden. And what's hiding them? What's hiding them? The stress that we have about financial matters, the worries that we have about everyday life, the ego and perceptions that we have about ourselves, and the false reality that we focus ourselves too much on. These they occupy certain brain centers, for lack of a better term. They occupy certain aspects of your mind, overstimulating those aspects of your mind, thereby externalizing your organs, your sensory organs, to the external reality. And what happens when you overuse the external reality? You end up with the internal senses that are inefficient, that are not working. So that's what happens basically. You end up with such a machine. So these psychic powers, these supernatural powers, they are hiding behind lifetimes of this focus on the external reality, worries of past lifetimes, traumas of the past lifetimes. They are hiding these gifts that we have. Well, these natural tendencies that we have. So when you're working with planetary magic or any other type of magic, mantra magic specifically, you need to accustom yourself to the mantra, and then this is what will happen. As you accustom yourself to that mantra, as you chant rigorous sadhana, you will experience certain aspects of yourself. You'll find that you are more angry. You will find some instances unbearable. And you will find a feeling similar to that of madness. Sometimes you may experience panic attacks. These are psychological and are of a psychological nature. These are what happens to you when you accustom yourself to a certain frequency, when you try to reawaken your gifts. This is similar to the Kundalini awakening. And this is what I've found on my spiritual journey. I've found that when I'm working with the ancestors, doing rigorous spiritual practice with the ancestors, I get the same symptoms. I do exercise and martial arts, well, in a spiritual manner. Well, let's not stray too far into martial arts. I do too much yoga and physical exercise. I get the same symptoms, particularly yoga and Surya Namaskar. I do the pranayama breath work. I experience same symptoms. I do mantra chanting alone. I experience the same symptoms. I do fire rituals. I experience the same symptoms, but on a much greater scale with fire rituals. So these are in actuality what I've been discussing. So in working magic of any kind, you first need to accustom yourself to that energy. Clear out the personality that's hiding that spiritual gift away from your mind, making it latent, of course. So that's what you do. Mantras don't work. They need you to put in the work. You don't sit down and eat McDonald's and listen to a mantra. You chant a mantra. You do sadhana to make it activated, to make it work. And I would like to tell you something. If you can do that, you will never regret. Anyway, let's move forward talking about Mercury. So Mercury is a planet that rules over number 5. Mercury stone is said to be emerald, and stones of a green nature. Mercury is princely. Mercury is a very, very, very powerful planet and a very, very powerful indicator of your magical past and your magical lifetime. Mercury rules over the intelligence of your mind, the swiftness of your mind, your intellectual ability is ruled by Mercury. Mercury, being a trickster, is also the father of the con man. Mercury, to be able to deceive, to be able to trick someone, you need to be intelligent and you have to have a swift mind. So Mercury is impatient with things that are taking longer. Mercury is constantly interested in new subjects and new stuff. Therefore, Mercury is susceptible to doing what? Leaving jobs undone. This is someone who has a Mercury that's imbalanced in their astrological chart. To find this about your Mercury, you may simply email me at arsenest.fya@gmail.com and book a numerological reading with me, where I will tell you about the various aspects of the planets that are in your life. So you will be able to know where you stand with Mercury. And guys, another thing that I want to indicate to you, if you see someone being a master in the spiritual or the magical arts, do not take this lightly. This person has been doing such from their past life. And also, in the spiritual arts and spiritual warfare, there's people who have incarnated in this lifetime. Their planets are well aligned to a point whereby they cannot be sabotaged by enemies. So we need to be careful in approaching people, especially spiritual people, not to make threats, not to try and insult and disrespect other people. Matter of fact, we can, there's people who have a high tolerance like me. You can insult me, it's fine. But be careful about trying to curse everybody in the spiritual realm, trying to spiritually attack everybody. You don't know their past life, these people. You could be battling an ascended master, and you will regret it. So this is what I wanted to say to you as a disclaimer, family. Guys, this is what I wanted to say to you as a disclaimer. We need to be careful in such matters. In the case where you find out how your planets are aligned and where you find out how your Mercury is aligned, if it's positive, please make sure that you don't waste such a well-aligned astrological chart. Don't mess it up by going for alcohol. Don't mess it up by ruining yourself basically in excess of materialism. You are ruining your gifts. You are gifted if you have a strong Mercury. Shout out to all people who have a strong Mercury. I am included. So Mercury is a very, very, very significant benefactor in the practice of magical arts. There's a yearning for knowing more. There's a yearning of getting to the bottom of every subject. There's an intelligence in Mercury, an inquisitive spirit. My English is perfecto. Anyway, there's an inquisitive spirit in Mercury. Never underestimate that. Mercury has the curiosity of the child because he's childlike, not childish, childlike. And never underestimate somebody who acts a fool. Matter of fact, those who know me, those who are on my WhatsApp, I'm always joking. Those who are on my Facebook, I'm always joking and posting stupid stuff. It's this Mercury. Sometimes my jokes irritate people. It's how I chose to take this lifetime. I wanted to say it's how I am, but I know that I am nothing, basically. I'm not the body. I'm nothing, basically. Anyway, this is just a costume, a personality that I took for this lifetime, determined by what I was doing in my previous lifetime. So these planets they have a very, very major impact and major influence in our lives. For example, if you have a weak Venus, you will realize that you have problems with your kidney. You will realize that you have problems with attracting the opposite gender. You will realize that you have problems with cleanliness. And this also applies to those who have a weak moon. Apparently, by not taking a bath regularly, you are ruining your moon. By staying with a careless place, you are ruining your moon. So by ruining your moon, you are ruining your mind. And those who know the moon doesn't play. The moon can make you depressed. The moon can drive you into madness. Anyway, when you have an inability to concentrate, when your mind is hyperactive, this is due to Mercury. When you lose interest and you are impatient, this is due to an imbalanced Mercury. Mercury also does what? Messes with your memory because there's too many thoughts that are racing in your mind. So Mercury messes with your memory. You end up forgetting things just the way I do. Sometimes I promise you stuff that I can't even speak about later on in the video. Anyway, with that being said, I have come to the conclusion of this video. For more information about mantra sadhana, for more information about numerology readings, for more information about courses in magic and courses in meditation, please make sure that you email me at arsonist.fya@gmail.com. arsonist.fya@gmail.com. I would also like to say another disclaimer. There's so many people that I've noticed who are not serious about the spiritual path. They are either not serious about the spiritual path, or they are simply not able to digest this knowledge. It's too complex for them. However, this is what I would advise you. Come with an inquisitive spirit. When I instruct you on something, do it with an inquisitive mind. Do not criticize it by how it sounds to you, because these are workings of spirituality. They often offend the ego, the lower self. So if it sounds dumb to you and it's a spiritual practice, simply know that that's your ego hindering you. Now, what do I mean when I say if it's something dumb? Okay, suppose I instruct you to chant over a glass of water. I would do what? I would instruct you on making a mudra with your hand and then chanting to the water and energizing the water. To one who is materialistic and too egotistic, they would see this practice as a dumb thing. The same person, I do that, I chant over the water, I give them the water, you see them acting mad. It's the same person who's criticizing that practice. This is how you know that it's your ego doing this. Not practices where some spirits, trickster spirits, would be requiring you to eat your own excrement. That's extreme. We don't do that. Refuse when someone says that. Om Namah Shivaya. We come to the conclusion of this video. Email me and comment if you have questions. Thank you.